up the 316 and go between the hedges. This is Rick and John's Dog Walk.
On Sports Radio 92.9, The Game.
It would be a challenge for us because we were very fortunate to inherit defensive players that had played against it when we got here. So there were, I think, 8 or 9 guys who had played against that offense for 3 straight years out there last year. And familiarity with that offense is critical.
That's Kirby Smart talking about Georgia Tech and the triple option offense. And, you know, they're going to hit you with that about 60 times, and they'll try to throw one big ball on you. Just one.
Maybe two.
Just
maybe
one.
Two. Big game.
But they try to obviously hit you when they think your pants are down. You're looking for the road. Oh, deep shot. That's Georgia Tech with their plucky little offense. Anyway, good win for Georgia Tech against the Virginia Cavaliers on Saturday. But this is our dog walk. You know, Tech, get to the Natty, get to the college football playoff. Maybe we'll create a segment for you. But right now,
I mean, they have
it's the dog walk.
They have won a more recent national championship by almost a decade. Just saying.
Asterisk.
What's an asterisk about it? They should have won it by themselves because Colorado, who they split with, got a 5th down against Missouri.
But are they recognized as the champions?
Absolutely.
Co-national champions.
They're recognized as national champions.
Co-national champions.
Still, again, 10 years more recent than Georgia.
Look, I'm not arguing 100%.
Why are you going there?
Asterisk.
John?
Just saying.
Which side are you on?
I'm not on anybody's
side. Sure
side.
sounds like you're on the yellow and black side right now.
No,
Why are you going
side.
there? That sounded like
no.
techie shade on UGA.
Well, because you threw shade for no reason. You said win a natty or get to the playoffs, and we'll create a segment for you. I just wanted to put facts out there that they have a more recent national championship.
And you're right, but it was shady. Was I incorrect with that? Like, if Tech becomes one of the it teams in college football, would we not create a segment for them?
Maybe.
I'm serious.
Maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe.
You only get a maybe from Michaels. So
I mean, I'm going to keep it real.
So if Georgia Tech...
If
Georgia Tech were a top 10 team and had one loss or something like that.
No, we wouldn't have a segment about it.
They don't get a segment?
Probably not.
All right. Todd Stansbury, I am here right now saying that maybe we'd create a segment for you if that were the case.
We had the conversation during the summer about Atlanta United and where, if they won a championship, it would rank. And I remember saying, if Georgia Tech wins a national championship at football, it ranks higher because it's major college football. And I got pushback for that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Why wouldn't it be? It's a national title.
I think that more people in Georgia and Atlanta are locked and loaded with Atlanta United than they are with Georgia Tech.
That's because Georgia Tech's 7-4.
No, it's because I think Atlanta United has a way bigger fan base in this state already than Georgia Tech. Am I wrong about that? Take me deep. Give us a call.
History-wise, you're incorrect. Today, you're not incorrect.
That's what I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about, in the 80s, and I wasn't here then.
But again,
I'm talking about right now in 2018, Atlanta United is a way bigger deal than Georgia Tech football.
What do we know about sports in this city? What do we know?
We kind of get to the moment of truth, and it doesn't go our way.
Not just that, but fan base-wise. When we win, people show up and, hey, we're the biggest fans ever. Hawks games were sold out when they won 60 games.
What are you saying?
If Georgia Tech were to win, all the people that are Georgia, and I'm using the air quotes, lifelong Georgia Tech fans, they're going to come out of the woodworks. They're going to show up from whatever accounting firm or technical firm, and they're going to be rocking if they were undefeated. Let them win this Saturday against Georgia. You will see Georgia Tech stuff everywhere.
Yeah, but it won't surpass Atlanta United stuff being everywhere. It just won't. I think it would be a significantly bigger deal if Atlanta United won a championship relative to Georgia Tech. Now, if you compare Atlanta United winning a championship to the Bulldogs winning the national championship, then I would take a different story on that. And I would say that the Bulldogs national championship usurps both in importance and in prestige and in grabbing the state of Georgia by the shirt collar. I would say a Dawg national championship would be better than a United championship. But I don't think there's a debate that an Atlanta United championship would galvanize this state more than a Georgia Tech championship.
Galvanize, maybe, but again, it's college football, and we care about college football. No disrespect. I'll be at the Atlanta United match on Sunday. Can't wait. I hope they win. Georgia Tech, if they were to ever get there, and right now they're not, it would be different. But let's talk about what happened this weekend with Georgia. They steamroll UMass. Obviously, we knew what was going to happen there. No competition. You go out and you score 66 points. Don't cover the spread. But either way, they do exactly what they want, and that's get a lot of guys playing time. But did Kirby Smart play this right? Did he play it right? Finally letting Justin Fields get back there and throw the football. That part I love. getting a ton of guys carries. I mean, you're talking about players. I'm going down and looking at the list of some of the people that got carries on Saturday afternoon. This is exactly how you do this, and this is why the SEC puts these games here. It's your let guys play and let's get ready for rivalry week type of part of the schedule. Alabama, who cares? It was 10-10 against Citadel. You blow them out, you get ready for Auburn. Georgia, who cares? You gave up 27 points. You played 1 million people, and you get ready for Georgia Tech. I like the way that they played this game out.
I think Kirby Smart did a beautiful job with this game. Now, defensively, Kirby's not happy with giving up 27 points to UMass. I promise you that. He's not happy with some guy named Ross Comas, whoever the hell that is, the UMass quarterback, throwing for 278, a couple of touchdowns. He's not cool with that Isabella dude. What was it, 15, over 200 yards, couple of He's not okay with that. I promise you that. And that gave him a coaching opportunity. But the way he deployed his offense, I applaud. Jake Fromm threw 5 passes. Have a seat, son.
And
Take
he didn't
this
need
one
to throw
off.
anymore.
No, but for Justin, and by the way, he was 5 for 5, 106 and a touchdown. So Fromm was like doing it in that limited amount of time. But Justin Fields, 5 of 8, 121, and 2 touchdowns through the air. That is flawless. And 7 for 100 yards and a touchdown on the ground. This was the Justin Fields game, John. You got an opportunity late in the year to season him just in case, and God forbid anything happens. But if this was a Fromm game and he threw 20 passes and Justin Fields barely played, it's a missed opportunity to have him cut his teeth on the gridiron there at Sanford Stadium. So, and also, I said on Friday, John, I don't want to see very much of Elijah Holyfield and DeAndre Swift. Holyfield was 6 for 50 and a touch. Swift was 9 for 49. 9 carries is actually too many for Swift based on what I wanted coming in. But you get Cook getting in twice. Harrion gets in once. So I was happy to see Cook and Harrion, guys like that, getting off because I didn't want Swift and Holyfield out there subjecting them to a possible injury.
12 guys ran the football. You're talking about major college football. 12 different guys ran the football for Georgia. This is what you want. And I agree, Swift probably didn't need 9 carries. I would have liked to see a little more James Cook, although he goes for 2 touchdowns and you don't need to see much else. The other concerning part of that was the wide receiver, I think it's Andy Isabella, 15 catches, 219 yards, and a couple of scores against Georgia. Is this concerning at all if you're a Georgia football fan?
Yeah, and it won't be against Georgia Tech, but it will be down the line in the SEC championship game. Here's the problem with Alabama. They don't just have Judy and Ruggs. They've got Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, and Waddle got busy against Citadel. I think he had 2 touchdowns and had a big game. So this Isabella guy exposes a potential weakness. And I do love Campbell, and I do love Baker, and I do love LeCount, but it's going to be the depth of the secondary that is tested. And obviously, Isabella got busy against a lot of 2s, 3s, and 4s, okay? But it amplifies something that they can work on because Kirby's like, Tech ain't going to hurt us through the air, but Alabama will.
I'm not concerned only because you haven't seen that all year long. You went against Drew Lock, who has better receivers than – they're not better than Alabama, but he's got a good receiving core, and you shut him down. I mean, they haven't had a moment this year where teams have really exploited them through the air. LSU beat them because they could run the football on them. Alabama's obviously a different animal, and, the wake-up call for them this week was it's 10-10 at halftime, and then they pour it on in the second half. I think they blow out Auburn this week. Blowout. Go into the Iron Bowl and say, all right, you guys beat us a year ago. You celebrated. It was all fun and games. I think Alabama blows out Auburn.
I don't disagree, and here's a big reason why. Alabama gave up, 17 to Citadel, or were they stuck on 10 the whole game?
I don't remember if they scored late, but I know it was 10-10 at halftime.
But my point is this. Alabama blanked back-to-back SEC teams. Blanked them. 0-0.
They did give up a late touchdown to Citadel.
17, right?
Yep.
Okay, so how do you give up 17 to Citadel and you don't give up a single point to Mississippi State or the SEC opponent LSU that they played before? You shut out LSU and Mississippi State, 2 ranked teams, and then you give up 17 to Citadel? What that tells me, John, is that defense was just out there. They put helmets on and they just had a run in the park. Auburn will have the full and undivided attention and focus of the Alabama defense. So for that reason, and coming off a performance where they gave up 17 to Citadel, and coming off a week where they're getting screamed at by Nick Saban about it, I agree. I think Alabama's going to fire a bullet against Auburn.
Now, did you see what the Citadel did social media-wise after they scored? Oh, it's awesome. It's so awesome. They did the ultimate troll job on LSU and Mississippi State. They scored a touchdown in the first half and put out this tweet that goes, Citadel touchdown. See, LSU, Mississippi State's not that hard.
Wow.
And they did it against Alabama's first team. Now, what happened?
That's pretty good.
Citadel runs the option. They were gashing Alabama for 3 yards here, 4 yards there, 4 yards here, first down. They milked, if I'm not mistaken, about 12 minutes off the clock in the first quarter. So they did their job. They kept it close, and then the athletes kind of kicked in. But Nick Saban, went in at halftime, tied at 10, and went bananas. Tua played into the fourth quarter against the Citadel.
The Citadel.
Obviously not hurt. The legs are fine. He went out and threw it all over the yard. That's a bad situation if you're thinking about it and you're Georgia and you're going to play here in a week and a half in the SEC title game.
Well, he's hurt. I'll tell you right now, he's hurt. Is he injured? No. If he was injured, he'd be out, but he's hurt. He's definitely hurt. Tua is not even close to 100%. I got some intel from a coach of West Alabama who's tied in with the Alabama program, and he told me, no, Tua's knee is jacked up. He can play on it, but it's jacked up. And it's also, look, if Jalen Hurts is perfectly healthy for that football game, Jalen Hurts probably starts that game, and they hold Tua out. They don't have anybody else. And Nick's like, I can't go with Mac Jones. Did you watch Mac Jones against Mississippi State?
No.
He sucked. So, Nick's got to win a game. I know it's Citadel, and Nick ain't thinking about it that way. He's like, I have a game to win. We have a national championship to win. He doesn't just, we'll just kick Citadel's butt. That's not how Nick thinks. That's why he's the greatest of his sport. So, to your point, I think Jalen Hurts would have played in that game if he were healthy, but he's not. Jalen Hurts is limping around, can't even run. He's talking about jacked up.
Got a couple of polls up at Rick and John at 929. I want to get back to this Notre Dame one as well. So we had some funny messages coming in on that. But what else we got there?
All right, well, let's start with that one. Do you hate Notre Dame? Your simple options are yes, yes I do, or nope. 68% saying yes, yes I hate Notre Dame. New one we just posted at Rick and John 929 on Twitter, coming from the discussion we had getting into this segment. If both programs were undefeated and tops in their respective sport, who would have more fan support? Atlanta United or Georgia Tech? Atlanta United or Georgia Tech? So both, let's say Georgia Tech's the number 2 team in the country. All right, they're college ball playoff bound. Let's say that, Atlanta United wins a championship. What fan support, what fan base is more fired up and what fan base is bigger? Tech or Atlanta United? And it's very early, and we know it. Atlanta United's very good with the Twitters.
Oh, yeah.
So we could post
they are Twitter machines.
What's your favorite type of steak? And Atlanta United fans would say our steak. Our one's the best. But right now, 89% of the early votes giving the nod to United.
You said 89?
89, but it's still early, way early.
Now, let's just pause for a second because Tech is in the name of Georgia Tech. Twitter is Tech, okay?
Yeah, but that means they're also working on engineering things.
I know, they got bigger fish to fry.
They're not on Twitter.
They got buildings to build.
At Rick and John 929 if you want to vote on that one. So it's essentially, if they were both having a magical, unbelievable season, even better than Atlanta United's having right now, what fan support will be bigger? Who really comes out?
I want to go back to a couple of Notre Dame texts. I don't mind Notre Dame, but Lord, their fans are what makes them so disliked. I hate Notre Dame because they aren't in a conference. You're not special, Notre Dame.
Yeah, they are.
Hate them. Boomer Sooner. Blank the Catholics. That's from a Georgia fan.
Wow. Why you got to bring religion in it?
Of course everyone hates Notre Dame. I can't stand the fact they don't have to play for a conference championship every year. They get by their name, and it's just frustrating. Here's another one. Notre Dame sucks. Okay, so yeah, it ain't just me, Rick. It's not just the Miami in me.
Your point is made.
I forgot the shirt. I think it said, "Jesus made Notre Dame number 1. Miami made him number 2." The greatest shirt ever. My picks were number 2. We'll talk about our picks next. We'll go over some of the biggest games, including Notre Dame.
You want to flush them, John?
Including Notre Dame beating the crap out of Syracuse. That's next.
Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
The home for our Atlanta United.
Full time! Incredible win! Incredible win by Atlanta United!
MLS in the ATL.
And we are your official station for all things Atlanta United.
Score!